Well, with me tonight, Jimmy Wales, the free speech activist and internet pioneer who founded Wikipedia and is now an unpaid advisor to David Cameron on internet strategy. Tonight, he's announced that Wikipedia will use encryption to stop any risk of intelligence agencies snooping on people who've logged into the site. So it sounds like you're losing a little confidence in the great freedom of the internet yourself.
Well, I mean, I think we are definitely in an era when we need to think a lot more about security in lots of different ways. One of the ways is the threat from government snooping on innocent people. Other threats would be security relating to people hacking into websites or into your Facebook account and things like that. I think it's something that the entire industry and government needs to think really hard about.
You're encrypting Wikipedia for logins, but I mean, how sure can you be that that's any protection?
We think it's pretty good protection. Obviously, there are always questions about whether or not the NSA has secretly managed to decrypt everything. We think that's highly unlikely. But, you know, you have to do encryption right. It's non-trivial to do it well. But, you know, we trust our bank data and so forth to the same kind of encryption.
There's something going on, isn't there, at the moment? I mean, there's this huge demand for new rules for the internet, new regulation, new censorship.
For me, what's interesting about the story we've just watched here tonight about criminal gangs essentially hacking into people's Facebook accounts to generate bogus likes is that all of that activity is already illegal. To me, it doesn't seem like I can't think of any new rules or new laws that would actually help with that. What would help with that is actual enforcement. My view is that instead of spending literally billions of pounds, billions of dollars, snooping on ordinary people and gathering up all this data in a fairly, apparently as far as we can tell, fruitless search for terrorists, we should devote a significant portion of that to dealing with the real criminal issues online, people stealing credit card numbers, hacking into websites and things like that. Unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot of that. We see a lot of flash and a lot of snooping, but this is, at the end of the day, going to take an investment in real solid police work.
Have you said that to David Cameron? You're a government advisor now.
I advise on one small little piece of open access and a group of people who are working on a portal to government research. So, no, I haven't had that opportunity. I say it in public all the time, so hopefully he's watching the news tonight.
I mean, you say he's a Channel 4 News regular. You say the laws exist already. I mean, would you say that about the Twitter row as well, and abuse and rape threats and all of that?
Yeah, in general. I mean,
you don't need new rules and new buttons and all the rest of it.
I think, you know, when we think about rules about verbal threats, human society has a long history of rules and laws around this, and those rules and laws are very well thought out. They deal with complicated edge cases and so forth. I do think that Twitter has needed in the past to do more. To give people more control of the environment, to allow faster means for people to complain and to have people who are behaving badly exposed, blocked, arrested as necessary. But again, you know, the laws around, it's not like we don't have a law against threatening people. We do. And as we're going to see and as we're beginning to see in various cases, people are quite rightly called out for this.
Do you think there's been a huge amount of naivety about the internet? I mean, for years we've thought of the internet as this great wide open space, force for good. And actually now we suddenly realise that actually it might be driving paedophiles, sex abuse, spying. Actually, this can be as much of a force for bad as it is a force for good.
I don't think so. I think it's more complex than that. I think that, yes, to some extent, we're beginning to see certain bad effects more clearly. But on the other hand, it's important to remember, in the early days, people were terrified to go online and just the thought of buying a book from Amazon and putting in your credit card or ordering something from some random stranger on eBay was very frightening and scary to people. And we've come to realize actually most people, 99.99% of everyone online is a perfectly decent human being. And so we shouldn't let these edge cases make us too paranoid and too frightened about the internet.
You're against David Cameron's other idea, aren't you, about default settings for the internet? He wants everyone's default setting to be opt out of all adult content.
Absolutely ridiculous idea. It won't work. The software that you would use to implement this doesn't work. Additionally, you know, when we use cases of a pedophile who's been addicted to child porn videos online, you realize all that Cameron's rules would require him to do is to opt in and just say, yes, I would like porn, please. It does nothing to stop criminals.
But at least you would then know who is opting in.
Well, I mean...
Because you could have different levels, couldn't you? I mean...
I don't trust that there's any easy conceivable way to do that. You know, one of the things that we see is people in very, say, repressive countries with very strict rules, they will look up information about human sexuality in Wikipedia, which is then blocked there.
And just lastly, I mean, do you trust your Facebook when you log in?
Yeah, I do. But a big piece of it is I am a technologist, and I'm not issuing a challenge to any hackers out there to try to hack into me. But I do, you know, I'm careful about what I do. I think that it is a different matter. The ordinary consumer doesn't know to check certain things, doesn't think about these kinds of things, and that's, you know, that's a problem.
Jimmy Wales, thank you very much indeed.